All right, we're going to go over the 9.6 patch notes for DBD. I normally don't do this on the channel, but with the drama surrounding the Blight nerfs and the fast track update, I thought it would be good to touch on and see what they've changed and what made it from the dev stream to here in the patch notes, and then predict what's going to make it from the patch notes to the live version after the PTB. Get the full 50% from botany, and then if the next perk does 50%, it'll be split in half. So no matter what it does, say desperate measures, 40% at 2 hooks, it's going to be 20% at 2 hooks now because you stacked perks, and then so on. It's going to continue to go down the more perks you stack. So the more perks you stack, haste, healing, Jin regression. I wonder if Jin regression is going to be in that. But Jin repair speed, the more you stack, the more it's going to regress in value. We got the progress bar update here. So the progress bar now, the way it's set up is if you are doing a task by yourself with like resilience, so you're injured, you're doing a task with resilience, the bar is gold. But if someone joins you on that, it turns to red. You're still doing the Jin faster, but it just is showing that someone joined. Now, it's going to be gold anytime the Jin goes faster than normal repair speed, so you don't have to be confused. It might confuse seasoned players for a bit, but newer players are really going to like this change, I think. So anytime the Jin is moving faster, it will be gold. Anytime you're healing faster, it will be gold. If you're doing normal speed, it will be red. Or if it goes slower, it will be red. So visible team perks, match details have been updated to show the loadouts of players on the same team. So if you're playing solo queue, you no longer have to guess what your teammates are running. You'll be able to know. You see someone downed, you'll be able to check if they're plot twisting or if they actually got knocked if you weren't paying attention. You can see what offerings they brought, so I guess you can check the hatch offerings. You can hover over the elements to display the description if you're a newer player. That'll be great for you. The loadout of the opposite team will not be displayed until the match is over, which obviously that's how it should be. I don't know if they're going to keep with a change where you see what killer it is. I know people were kind of upset about that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Spectator mode, most elements in the HUD can be hovered over to show their description. Perks, items, add-ons, goals, status effects. So anything you're curious about, you're going to be able to hover over that and see exactly what it does. So that'll be great for new players. We got more aura customization. So deja vu gens, you can customize those auras. Gens affected with eruption. Marked elements. The example they give is a xenomorph control station. Killer objects, Hag's traps, singularity bipods, anything basically that you can think of that has an aura, you'll be able to change now. Alright, let's get in the meat and the potatoes of this update. So Blight. Blight's movement speed is being decreased to 4.4, so similar, think Huntress, think Chucky's 4.4 as well. Out of power, obviously. And it was 4.6. So basically, if you're primarily using your power now, and that's what you use to hunt people down, I don't think you'll feel too much of a difference. You miss with your rush attack quite often, and then you just rely on the movement speed to catch up in M1, you're going to have some trouble here. Breaking a down pallet reduces rush tokens to 2 below maximum and resets current rush token recharge to 0%. So if you run the add-on, I can't think of it on the top of my head, that allows no more than 3 rush tokens, you'll drop to 1 rush token and it'll start recharging. If your base kit with 5 rush tokens, it's going to drop to 3 anytime you break a pallet, and that includes basic and special break. So if you rush through it or if you just kick it, it's going to be the same debuff. They did upgrade the description of the power to reflect the change. So I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out in game. I know a lot of people are, running around alerting everybody that Blight's dead, but personally, I still think he's going to be pretty good. Okay, Doctor, he got a buff. Decreased delay of shock therapy to 0.75 seconds from 0.8 seconds. So you're going to be able to use your ability slightly faster. We'll have to see how that works in loops and if it's really noticeable. I struggle to feel like it will be. All right, now for the cannibal. Increased maximum chainsaw sweep speed to 5.45 meters per second from 5.35 meters per second. You're going to be able to hit a max speed that's slightly faster than the current, which I mean, can't complain about extra speed. Some people are already devastating with Leatherface, so you do any more than that, you could get into a tricky ground where it could be considered overpowered. All right, the Ghostface. Decreased cooldown of Night Shroud to 15 seconds was 17 seconds, so nothing crazy there. You're going to get back into power faster. So, I mean, that's a solid change. I feel like Ghostface needs a little more than that, but can't really complain about that. Demogorgon. Increased Shred's movement speed from 19 meters per second from 18.4. Okay, so Shred's going to be, you catch survivors off guard a little more frequently, it seems. Increased Shred's turn rate from 55 degrees per second. Oh, wow. From 20, they doubled it. You're going to have way more control over your Shred, I presume, midair, and be able to hit survivors around corners and loops. So that could actually be a really good change. Increase the duration of undetectable after traversing the upside down to 12 seconds. It was originally 5 seconds. Okay, so that is huge. That's double and then some. So when you come out of the upside down as Demogorgon, you're going to have quite a bit of time to be undetectable and sneak up on people. So you can actually be a little more lenient. You don't have to set your portals right next to gens. You can kind of spread them out a little more and still take advantage of that undetectable. All right, Dredge. Increased movement speed while charging Rain of Darkness to 4 seconds, or 4 meters per second, was 3.8. Okay, we'll see how that works in game. I think one of the biggest changes they've made is for Wesker. They decreased the recovery time to 2.7 from 3. They decreased the charge time per token to 5 seconds. And they increased the duration of the bound window to 2.5 seconds. So you're going to have an extra half second to make that second dash. I actually really liked the Wesker changes. Skull Merchant, didn't realize she was still in the game. Thought the devs forgot too. Added support to multiple power icons, so I guess you're going to be able to see and understand what they do a little better. Power icons are mapped to deploy drone, rotate, and recall actions. Okay. So I guess she's going to be, quality of life, ease of access type change. I really like that. The Unknown got decreased cooldown of his UVX, so that spit he does, it's going to be use your power quite quick. You're going to be able to use your power a lot sooner. Decreased weakened survivor vision linger duration to 0.75 seconds from 1.25 seconds. That's a full half second. That the weakened survivor is going to be visible. You guys have to tell me in the comments what this means, because for some reason it's confusing me in the wording. Alright, decreased time to recall for the animatronic or Springtrap. Decreased time to recall Fire Axe when embedded in the environment to 6 seconds from 7 seconds. So if you miss your axe or throw it in the ground on purpose to get that haste bonus, you're going to be able to recall it faster. Decreased time to recall the Fire Axe when embedded in survivors to 8 seconds from 10 seconds. So you throw it in a survivor, you want it back, you want to try to hit him again, get a double tap, you're going to be able to get it back a lot faster now. Decreased battery consumption per camera use to 6 seconds was, or 6% was 7%. Decreased battery consumption upon survivor teleport to 12% was 15%. Does behavior think that survivors actually mess with these cameras? Because outside of the occasional survivor messing with a camera, I feel like they just get ignored unless you're teleporting through a door. I don't think anybody pays attention to the battery consumption whatsoever. So that's definitely interesting. Key binding for grab axe button is updated to use power input, was attack input. Okay. So instead of, like, on controller, instead of using RT, you would use the left. You'd use, like, L2 or LT. Nerfs got one of her add-ons nerfed. So, heavy panting extends the duration of a lunge after more than one blink by 10%, was 30%. So, you don't have all that extra time to go for a lunge. You have to kind of make a decision whether you're in a lunge or just... So you don't have all that extra time to decide whether wait and then blink again, or you just lunge right there. Ghostface add-on decreased Night Shroud recovery time by 2 seconds instead of 3. I guess that's with the base kit. They don't want to make it too short. Mastermind add-ons. So Wesker got some more add-on changes. Loose Crank. So this increases the movement speed between first and second bounds by 15%, almost doubled from the last one. So could catch some people off guard there at loops as well. Increases chainbound window by 20% for the egg from 50%, so that's a nerf. So instead of having all that extra time with the egg, you're gonna again have to make an extra decision. Seems like they don't behaviors like tweaking these add-ons so that you don't have all this extra time to decide what you want to do as killer. They want more skill expression, it seems. That's definitely interesting. Green trap add-on. Restaurant menu. Decreases minimum time to retrieve an axe embedded in the environment by 10%. It was 20%. So I guess that's probably with the base kit change as well. Access panel, while aiming the fire axe, revealed survivors within 6 meters of the security door, was 4 by Killer Instinct. Okay, so now they can be further away from the door and you can still reveal them with Killer Instinct. So that's, I mean, kind of a buff. Alright, fast track. This and Blight are the two most looked at changes in this PTB. So, whenever another survivor is hooked, you earn 1, 2 to 3 tokens up to 999. Okay, so for each tier of the perk. Excuse me. So while repairing, whenever you hit a basic skill check, spend all tokens. For each token spent, the generator gains 1% permanent progress, was 2. Okay, so you can do 9% total progress from the gen rather than the current 18. So they're basically cutting fast track in half. I can get behind that. We'll see how it works. I think it's still going to be strong, but, 20% off of a gen for the killer doing their job has been kind of crazy. So let's see what else we got. We got some bug fixes, audio bugs, bot improvements, characters, perks. Alright, so that'll do it for this patch for this current patch. I do think the Nerfs changes and the Blight changes are going to go to live. I'm hoping they extend some of the updates on these other killers, like Doctor, Cannibal, Ghostface, Demogorgon, Dredge. Everybody, I hope their powers get stronger rather than just slight tweaks. Maybe that's the plan in the future. They're just trying to, see what would be a good middle ground right now. I appreciate you hanging out. If you like the content, like the breakdown, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me as a very small creator. I can do more of these if you guys enjoy them. I will be posting at least one video per week, long form. I hope to stream at least once or twice per week as well. And then shorts will be every single day, usually twice a day. But thanks for checking me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.